The bar was loud that night, the kind of place where cigarette smoke curled under dim lights, laughter clashed with curses, and the clink of glasses drowned out quieter souls. It was a world of shadows and noise, where tough men wore leather and tattoos like armor, and no one ever looked twice at the fragile people working behind the counter. Emily was one of them. A quiet waitress with tired eyes and a gentle presence, she moved through the chaos with humility and grace. Dressed simply in jeans and a white button-up shirt, her hair tied back, she worked quickly and efficiently, never asking for attention. Few noticed her calm smile, and no one knew the storm she carried inside, a past she never spoke of, a life no one could imagine. That night, a group of bikers walked in, and the atmosphere shifted instantly. Their laughter was louder, their presence heavier. They shoved past people, demanded service, and scanned the room like hunters. Emily avoided their eyes and focused on her work. But the quiet ones are often the easiest targets. One biker, tall, broad, his arms covered in tattoos, grew bored. He mocked her, insulted her, tried to provoke a reaction. Emily stayed composed. She didn't flinch. And that only made his pride burn hotter. Then, in front of the entire bar, he crossed the line. He grabbed her shirt and ripped it open. Gasps echoed. A few cruel laughs followed. But what happened next changed everything. Instead of weakness or shame, the room saw something no one expected. Etched across Emily's chest was a bold tattoo of the United States Marine Corps emblem. It wasn't just ink, it was a story. A symbol of sacrifice, discipline, and battles fought far beyond that bar. Silence fell like a hammer. The biker froze. His hand trembled. The smirk vanished. In that moment, everyone realized Emily wasn't just a waitress. She was a Marine. Emily stood still, her breathing steady, her eyes unshaken. The tattoo wasn't something she showed off. It was a reminder of where she came from and what she survived. She had joined the Marines young, not for glory, but to escape a life of poverty and hardship. The military didn't just train her body, it forged her spirit. She had seen loss. She had lost friends. She had lived through fear most people could never understand. When she returned home, she chose silence. Simple jobs. A quiet life. Hoping no one would ever ask about the past written on her skin. But that night, the truth stood exposed. And every man in that bar felt the weight of it. If you believe in hidden strength, kindness, and second chances, support our channel Good Vibes Hub. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, because your support helps us keep these powerful stories alive. The biker who had torn her shirt staggered backward, shaken. His borrowed courage collapsed the moment he realized what he had uncovered. He had expected humiliation, but instead, he stood face to face with honor. In that instant, he knew he wasn't worthy to stand anywhere near her shadow. The men behind him grew uneasy. Some dropped their eyes. Others shifted in silence, suddenly ashamed of the laughter that had escaped them moments earlier. The truth had cut through the smoke and noise, silencing even the loudest voices in the room. Emily didn't gloat. She didn't shout. She didn't say a single word. She calmly straightened her torn shirt, lifted her chin, and returned to her work as if nothing had happened. That quiet dignity spoke louder than any confrontation ever could. From that night on, the bar saw her differently. She was no longer just the quiet waitress clearing tables and pouring drinks. She was a warrior, someone who carried scars deeper than leather jackets and iron chains. A woman who deserved respect, not pity. In the days that followed, whispers of that night spread through the town. People noticed Emily in ways they never had before. Customers greeted her with gratitude. Strangers thanked her for her service, even though she never asked for recognition. Slowly, those who once overlooked her realized how blind they had been to the strength she carried all along. But what no one truly knew was the private battle Emily still fought. Her past in the military left wounds no one could see, restless nights, memories that refused to fade, and a loneliness that settled quietly in her heart. The bar job wasn't just a paycheck. It was her anchor. A way to stay busy. A way to keep her mind from drifting into darker places. Yet even while carrying her own pain, Emily never stopped giving to others. She covered shifts for younger coworkers. She listened patiently to lonely patrons. She slipped extra food to a hungry drifter who passed through now and then. Her suffering never hardened her, it softened her. The biker never returned to that bar. Maybe shame kept him away. Maybe fear. But those who witnessed that moment never forgot it. Emily reminded them that true strength isn't loud or violent. It doesn't need to dominate or intimidate. True strength is quiet. Steady. Unyielding. Years later, when the bar finally closed and the story faded into rumor, Emily's name still carried weight. To some, she was the waitress with the marine tattoo. To others, she was the woman who taught them to respect what they couldn't see. And to those who truly understood, she was a reminder that every person we overlook carries a story, one powerful enough to change how we see the world. If this story touched your heart, support our channel Good Vibes Hub. Please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep meaningful stories like this alive. Before you go, drop a comment below and tell us which part of Emily's story moved you the most. Your words might inspire someone who needs it today. Because sometimes, the strongest people aren't the ones who shout the loudest or strike the hardest. They're the ones who carry their battles in silence, and still choose kindness. Emily's story reminds us that behind every quiet face is a history we may never fully understand. The world is quick to judge and slow to notice, but many of the most extraordinary souls walk among us unnoticed, wearing their strength not as a weapon, but as a shield for others. So the next time you meet someone who seems ordinary, tired, or invisible, remember Emily. There may be a hero standing right in front of you,